We got a nice floater this morning. Overcast day though today. Look at that, beautiful floater. Peaceful morning. Good morning, gang. Hello, hello. Very quiet Saturday. Quiet so far. It's going to be busy. It was busy last night too. Friday night's when it starts here. People that don't have work the next morning. No jackhammering. I don't know, there's people there. They came with a truck about a half an hour ago. They opened up and went in, so they'll be doing something there this morning. I don't know what kind of jobs. No noise yet. Just have to wait and see what happens. This is not the show and tell. This is a warm-up to the show and tell. We've seen this before. Remember the little Tokaido set that flips open both sides? That will be the warm-up to our show and tell, which is something else. You can see one cone, it's across the street. My own cones are not out there. My own cones are brought in. We don't use them these days. No, they haven't rented the realtor place yet. I'm happy about this. They're asking 500,000 yen for it. It hasn't rented, and I'm really, really happy about that. There's limits to this stuff. It's so tiny, you know, it's so tiny. But speaking about rent, the place on the corner, if we had the camera the other way, you would see the shrouded building where they're doing the construction. You've seen it in every stream recently. There's a poster went on the side. I went out last night to get my dinner. When I came back, there's a poster on the side of that shrouding that says staff wanted, hall staff wanted. Hall staff is the word that's used for, you know, waiters and waitresses and stuff in a bar, running around with the drinks and stuff to people. And it says hall staff wanted starting the last week of December. They intend, and it says they intend to get open within the year. And it's now December the 12th. It's December the 12th. And they've just finished gutting the place. And they intend to open some kind of 2-story bar, nightlife place, they say, by the end of the year. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Well, I guess they've got their labor all lined up. This kind of stuff doesn't happen randomly, of course. Pick up where we left off. So, as John's right, if you've got the people and you've got the materials, everything's lined up, go for it, you know. I would imagine there's going to be some very late nights. And also, I'm not quite sure why they're doing this. I know in a normal year I would get it, because New Year's here is insane. Insane, of course, just streams of people. That bar street runs 24 hours a day. There's people drinking and drinking and drinking and eating 24 hours a day over January 1st, 2nd, 3rd in a normal year. This year, I don't know. The guys next door in the oyster restaurant, they're not even going to go open. They're thinking there's going to be people here. So I don't know. All the bets are off. Paper's out, John. Thank you. And today, Dei-chan is coming. She's printing the first print in next year's series. She's the only one in today. We had a visit yesterday from Ayumi-san. She bought the Miharu-chan. Miharu-chan. I haven't seen her in a year. Miharu-chan's so much fun. She's like, you ask her, how old are you? She's, I'm free. You know, she's at that age, just become 3 years old. The best possible age for a kid. She came for a visit yesterday afternoon. So. And Ayumi-san is really showing her next one. So it'll be quite a while before she gets back as a printer. Okay, you guys say your hellos. I'll do a bit of work here. Soka, speaking about Twitch and stuff, I know just a half an hour ago, I was looking at the Twitch rules of how to do something, 20 minutes ago. And I noticed there's something new apparently. Twitch has schedules. I mean, we've got our own schedule here, which is pretty stable, but I didn't realize that a Twitch channel also had schedules. So it seems like I should perhaps be looking at that and setting up something. So I guess people that want to can get reminders of it when when something's happening. So if anyone knows any more about that, let me know. But I'll look into it after I get to finish today when I'm having my lunch. Oh, that's fun too. These things are. You speak about one, it reminds you of something else. When I was reading the chat, was it yesterday or after the last stream, having my lunch and reading the chat, I was reading through it there, and somebody made a comment about something I had said, and they said, "Dave, say it isn't so." I had really said something that I can't say upset them, but gave them a feeling that, oh, I wish Dave didn't do that. And what I had said was, it was in the last stream or something, I had said that I went over to Starbucks and got a cup of tea. And the response from this person was, it's okay, whatever, just her response, said, say it isn't so. So I guess the image that because Dave is living here in wild and wonderful Tokyo, that I shouldn't be eating in Western restaurants or something. Because somebody else also followed up that and said, yeah, when I'm in Tokyo, I never eat at McDonald's or something like this, So whatever, I guess that's a thing, and I'm living here in Japan, and I do mostly eat Japanese food, etc., stuff like that. But at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I wanted a nice cup of tea, and I have no kitchen here. So yeah, I went over to Starbucks and had a chai tea latte. Don't actually feel embarrassed about that. So I'm not so sure why his comment was that, whether it's because Starbucks is an evil corporation or something, or whether it's because I'm here in Japan and shouldn't do that, or I don't know. I'm laughing here, I'm not so serious about this, but I was curious to see that comment, Say it isn't so. Can we zoom in a bit more? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I know. Something I meant to mention this morning. I made a note about this, but forgot to do it. There's an auction coming up, a series of auctions coming up that I'm going to post links for you guys. A bunch of people out here would be interested in doing. Somebody here in Japan has scored a whole bunch of traditional Japanese woodworking tools, top level woodworking tools. I don't know, hombarans, beautiful carving knives, brushes, the whole shebang. Somebody has put these up on a series of 6 or 7 auctions here. And we ourselves, we're okay. They've already gone a little bit higher in price than we ourselves would want to pay for these. If I'm going to buy a honbaran for a good price, I'd rather just give the money to Goto-san, the maker. Here, oh, look at this. It's getting too high. Anyway, whatever. I'll post the links here. This is the first of his auctions. It's for hombarans. And if you follow through, oh, here you are, okay. Yeah, okay. This is going to be a bit of a mixed link. This is the second page. This guy has a bunch of stuff up. He's an antique dealer. He's an antique dealer. So this is the second page of his stuff. And if you look down through this page, past all the scrolls and china, you'll see a bunch of carving knives, some brushes, and these are top quality, top quality stuff. And I won't be bidding on any of these, so just there it is. And there are ways to bid. If you, from overseas, if you can't read Japanese, there are overseas websites that access these Japanese auctions. I have buying services of kinds. So if you're interested, have a look at these. So the barons are expensive now, but the other tools seem to be, some of them seem to be manageable. There's bunches of chisels. So a group of 10, 12 ice-ski, and at the moment it's only 5,000 yen. Who knows where it's going to go. So the barons look out of sight, but the chisels look manageable. And we ourselves, we won't be bidding on this at all. So. Yeah, like Kantar is saying here, check how it works. I myself, I've never done this, bought from overseas. I've never done that, but whatever. It is a way to do things. John Amos, our friend John Amos, did exactly this. He got a huge bunch of barons, huge bunch of brushes, by bidding from overseas through a third-party service. Anyway, just so you know, it's there. I myself won't be bidding on these, so there's no question of competition here. So when I first saw them come up a few days ago, I thought, oh, good gold mine. Maybe he described them poorly and nobody else will see it. But no, this has attracted a lot of attention, so it can't be helped. Sometimes there's a little thing that happens private, and away you go, but this isn't going to be one of those times. carving something like this, the edge of these flowers, I'm just pretty much carving what I see. But when you go along the edge of a line, how thin to make it and how fat to leave it. It's easy enough to do it really super thin, slice here. That's a bit on the thin side, I think. It's easy enough to do it at this point. The problem is it cascades down through the system, When you carve the color blocks, now the color block for the outside sky here and the color block for this flower, they of course have to have the same level of precision. And the thinner you make that borderline, the more carefully the color blocks have to be carved. And then of course down the line you're cascading still further at printing time. The printers come to this, they put it on the bench. If the paper has the slightest bit of expansion and contraction, then bingo, you're out of registration. And the thinner you make the lines here, the more you show off and say, hey, I can carve cool stuff really thin. The thinner you make them, the more difficult it is for every person down the line. This is not the kind of print that specifically requires super thin detail here for its beauty. There's going to be a flower. That line could have been thicker. It would have made the work easier for everybody, and it wouldn't hurt the print. Down here later on, we've got some hair in the face and whiskers, so you can play with thinness and showing off down here. But up here, I should be careful. There's a time and a place for all of this stuff. I know Chon-san, absolutely, I can say this without insulting him at all. Chon-san is terrible on that. He wants to make everything as super delicate and as detailed as he possibly can. And it's wrong. There's a time and a place for it, and sometimes he just goes overboard, and it just makes nothing but trouble for everybody, for a result that nobody can see in the finished product anyway. So there's a time and a place. Well, my mother's here. Good morning, good morning, good morning again. Good morning, Mom. How you doing? Hey, Mom, are you there? Still listening? I learned something a few minutes ago, just before the stream started. So, somebody's explaining to you. They were explaining to me about how to make people into what's called a VIP. I didn't know this, though. I learned this morning, about a half an hour ago. On any given stream like this, people have their own little symbols and stuff. And there's what's called a VIP symbol, and I didn't know this, and it's a pink diamond. And anyway, you now have the VIP mark on this channel. You are, at the moment, the only one here. So what's your aim in life? I'd like to become a Twitch VIP. But there you are. Here we go. That's something else I also realized the other day, when looking at the chat and looking at part of the stream when I was eating lunch. I realized that the audio from outside for you guys is much louder than it is for me. I've got the door closed here, so I'm hearing real life here in the shop, which is basically nothing. I can hear sounds from outside, but it's through the closed door and the glass. But the camera outside has a microphone. So going through to the stream here is audio from outside, which I can't hear. If people walk down the street, they're tuk, 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 tuk. I don't hear them, but you guys hear them. And the other day I realized that some of that construction noise had been really loud and bothersome, but I didn't notice it because I'm indoors. So if we get to that anytime, if the outside noises need to be cut down and needed to be muted, please let me know, because I can kill the outside audio from here or turn it down anytime. What's this? My mother's saying, not sure if I was a good parent. David thinks I was too strict. I don't think that's a good analysis of this. Simplest way to say this is, myself, the way I am now, I am very happy with the kind of person I am. Very, very happy. It's not that I couldn't be improved, but I'm very happy with the kind of person I am. And that's from two things. That's from built-in DNA, which is half from my mother, so that's her fault anyway, but half from the upbringing and environment. And I see being happy with who I am, that tells you that I'm very happy with the way that things worked, you know. My mother, this was the year of the 1950s, you know. She was a young mother, and she devoted herself totally to taking care of her kids. Absolutely. This was the way it was done back then. We weren't, sent to daycare or anything like this. She completely, totally took care of us, and took care of us I'm not taking care of us, but I mean, caring for us, guiding us, doing the right thing. I have no complaint with my mother at all. Nothing. Are we all perfect? Do I think that every decision she made was great? And if you'd asked me when I was 14 years old, I would have had a different story. I hate my mom. I want to get out of here. But that's 14-year-olds. So. Anyway, you're not supposed to have this kind of conversation with your mother in public, whatever. So, no, I have no problems. No problems. Sure, of course, there was a few years there I just could not wait to get out of there. Oh my God, I just could not wait to get out of there. Of course, you know, I was 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever. With my brother, it was worse, you know, so he was a more aggressive character than me, so whatever. try and keep track of what's happening here. Skype, incoming Skype. I think we'll leave that. I'll let him know what's going on. Hang on a sec. It was Jedsan. Jedsan was calling. So I'll call him back after the stream. So. Oh, he's going to come in. So he's going to come in. It's possible to try and patch it in. You know, I could answer the Skype here, open it in the window, and bring that window into the Twitch, but it's a struggle. So. Jedsan, are you there? Coming in? Actually, if Jed is here, there's a bit of news for him. If Jed is here, not here yet. When he comes in, have some news. He's here. Jedsan, news. Cameron has been holding a waiting list for the Woodblock Pilgrimage series. You know, he's been holding a waiting list all year long. We maxed out at 200, as you know, with the royalties, whatever. He's been holding. Anyway, we've opened it up again. We've opened it up again, and Cameron has started to feed people to the to messages to the mailing list. The demand for your series, and I can look at Cameron's inbox here. without interfering. And he sent this maybe about 12 hours ago. He sent a message to a group of people at a time. And we have requests for people who want pilgrimage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and that's just up to midnight here, and it goes into yesterday afternoon. There is steady, steady, steady demand now. So Woodblock Pilgrimage, even though we're doing a new series now from next year, it's going to be maxed again. It's going to be maxed. Tom. Those two series, the Japan Journey series and the Pilgrimage series, they are just going to roll forever. They're just going to roll forever. The designs just... Also, too, I'll be making a video tonight talking about next year's series, but as part of tonight's video, I'm going to be showing in the video for the first time, and I'm going to see them actually myself for the first time, all the 12 prints in the Woodblock Pilgrimage series, all side by side in one panel. And it looks great. It looks great. It should have been in Japanese. Whatever. You guys talk to Jed. I'll whatever. So. Dave can show off how after 36 years in Japan, he can actually count to 20. Wow. Hey, take it easy with 70 next year. Series name suggestions. Okay, I sort of tried to nail it down yesterday, but it's not too late to change if it's a good suggestion. Fur and feathers. Animal circus. Soka soka. A bit on the little cleverish side, I think. So. I don't want something that's sort of, I don't know, what's the word? I don't know, punny or twisting or whatever. So the biota suggestion was okay, but it's too scientific for woodblock print series. It's too scientific. And I can't shoot and comment about one by one all these different suggestions, you know. At the end of the day, it's just going to come down to Dave thinks about this and says, yeah, I like this tone and taste of that. Actually, Jed is really good at this, you know. All through the past bunch of years, Jed's thrown these designs at us. You know, I ask him to design, he throws it and tosses it out. But what also Jed has really been good at is the print titles. The print titles of when we did the portrait series and stuff like that. And we can't use ever the game characters' names. And Jed has always been really, really good at coming up with the titles for these prints. So he's done most of that work too over the past 6, 7, 8 years now. Koryu-size achue, so zukioi. So I mean that's classic. It's a great, great joke, but this is not going to be a joke series. So, Japanimals name. Anyway, whatever. We'll, you know, as I said, I think I pretty much nailed it down yesterday. It's a very plain Jane name, but we'll see. I'd rather do that than have something that. The other thing about this too, remember, is that you know these prints are going to last 200 years to show, more than 200 years. So this thing actually is going to sit around here for quite a long time. So if we do something that has sort of a feel and a mood of the current culture, that's not so good. You'll see, the video's making tonight. I've got to finally decide by tonight. So I'll do it when I do the video tonight here. And here we are with next year's series, and it's going to be called, and that's the moment when I have to make my decision while I'm making the video. So, so leave me on it. Put some suggestions in still if you've got more ideas. Anything's grist for the mill. But sometime tonight I will be, you know, standing in front of the camera, and that'll be it. Yeah. I got a call last night again. I think I spoke to you about this about 2 weeks ago. There was a call came in about 2 weeks ago from one of the major TV companies down in the Kansai area in Osaka, Mainichi TV. And they were projecting for a particular TV program they were thinking about making, or they were looking for ideas for this. And they knew of us because the guy had been here before. He had covered our work for a print party or so, a year ago or so. So anyway, the producer phones. I may have told you about this last week. He phoned last week. We're trying to build a program about businesses that have been affected by the virus. And would you be willing to talk on air, on record, about your experiences with your business, how your business has been affected by this, you know? I said, sure, no problem at all. Nothing secret about this, and you know, not at all. He said, okay, well, we're preparing this. You know, basically, what's your story so far, you know? And I chatted with him, and he got his assistant on the line to listen in, and I chatted with him, and I gave him the outline that our shop was toast. And he, oh, really, you're close. Okay, you can hear him taking notes at this end of this thing, you know. So I explained our shop is toast, and it has been. We've been closed since March. And we have no prospect of reopening because our main business is with the foreign community, with tourists. You know. So they took note of all this. And then I went on and said, but actually, you know, we're still actually okay because we have built over the years, we've built a business model that doesn't depend on any specific one thing, not just the shop or not just online or not just subscriptions. We built a multi-tiered business here, you know. And so I explained more that we're actually okay. The online part of our business has been doing very well. We've worked hard at cultivating it. We updated our website so that it worked on mobile and all kinds of different stuff and blah, 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 blah. And he wasn't quite so happy about that part of it. I guess they were sort of looking for stories of tragedy, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, he was friendly enough and whatever. Okay, we'll think about it, and blah, 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 blah. And that was a couple of weeks ago. He phoned last night, and I can right away I can see where the conversation is going, and he's not going to use us. They're going to do the program, but we're not going to be in it, which is okay, like whatever, I don't care about that. But it just gives you an indication of how these reporters and stuff do this, and exactly the story. They've got their theme, they decide what they're going to say, it's already decided, and then they go out and look for things that match the image they've already got. So this wasn't documentation, this wasn't reporting. This was deciding the message you want to tell the public and then going out and finding facts that fit it. I didn't get upset. I didn't get angry, whatever. Just, okay, thanks very much, no problem. Give us a call later on, blah, 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 blah. But I am disappointed, you know, disappointed. I guess there's documentaries and then there's stuff that isn't documentaries, and it's okay, but, you know. I mean, we all know TV is what it is and the news is what it is. And I guess for any reporter too, you know, this is part of it. Even a reporter, for example, that went out there with no preconceptions to start reporting. This person starts gathering data. And part of reporting and collecting data, and bit by bit, a picture starts to emerge of something. Oh, I can see there's the data. It's showing me that this is happening. This is what a reporter does. And then, okay, partway along this report, the picture's starting to come clear, but then the next person they interview is something different. And it muddies the water and stuff. And they're going to think, we don't need to really talk to that person, you know. And I get it. It's a difficult thing. I get it. But it was frustrating to think that people are going to see that program and get an impression of all these businesses that have been destroyed by the virus, and they're going to miss the other story. The business has said, oh no, we're going to fight back. We can do something else. And that story doesn't get reported, at least not on this program. That's dishonest. That's dishonest. Raiders here. Good morning, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, it's the Mouse Gang again. Yes, good morning. So. David's gang, right? David, forget the name. I don't know this man yet. David Peterson, right? Yes. So I get it. They had an idea about what program they want to make, and it's the same. I do the same thing in my own world here. I've got an idea about what I want to do, so of course I follow it. But I don't pretend to be reporting. I don't, you know. So I didn't say anything. I just, you know, thanks very much. You know, the guy's been here. We're on his Rolodex. And at some point in the future, when we have content that matches what they are trying to say, then they'll have us on again, you know. But it did feel frustrating. part of it too, I guess, is bad news, right? And what newspapers and radio and TV to talk about news means bad news. I mean, that's sort of the definition of what news is now. They don't show, good news. It's just the stuff that's happened bad. So. He was his voice lit up when I told him our shop is toast. He was so interested, so excited. Somebody died. The reporters all, oh, wow, so it's funny. The world is what it is. It's okay. In the video I'll be making later tonight, I'll be talking about that. Last year's update video. I mean, this video tonight will not just be about next year's series. It's going to be a general update video on local Hong Kong and so on. And in last year's update video, I showed charts of, sales growth and stuff like this, And I'll be doing the same thing again in the video I'll make tonight. I'm not sure when it'll be up, sometime mid next week. So. All right, there's our 3 peony buds. What's next? What's next? We started with a bunch of leaves here, moved on to some peonies, some flower buds. Just keep on, I guess. Just keep rolling around. There's more leaves to do here. That's going to be it for a while. Leaves and buds and flowers. What's the time? 9 o'clock. It's 15 minutes. We have an interesting show and tell today. It's a kind of a mix. We've had tiny things, we've had large things, we've had something in between today. And it's another nice find which showed up. And as a teaser for it, the thing that we showed in one of the recent Tokaido videos, there's a set of prints here, the small little set of prints. This is not today's show and tell, but this is going to be a lead-in to today's show and tell. We'll see how it works from here. A Kachoe collection. You're laughing about this, boring, but it's closer to what we want than to a clever idea, zoology or whatever. You know? It's got to be descriptive about what the thing is for people that don't understand. And the root problem with the name of this is the designer's name, Koryusai, is difficult and complicated for Westerners to speak and to remember. And the Japanese name of this series, which is Choju Asobi, is impossible for people to handle in English. Koryusai's Kacho collection. We should spell collection with a K, right? Just what I need, KKK, right? Where should we go next? Let's keep. Well, maybe what I should do is attack the main flower here. Let's have a look at this. Been keeping an eye out for 53 stations set in the U.S. 53 stations set in the U.S. Like 53 stations from New York to San Francisco or something? I don't know what you mean. That'd be a good idea, though. That's maybe a good one for John Amos. He did his Appalachian set. He could do a set of 53 stations of like Route 66 or something like this, or whatever. A 53 stations set. Did I misunderstand the English? Keeping an eye out for 53. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I see. It's whatever. A 53 station set to be able to purchase in the U.S. Got it. Good luck on that one. Sorry. They're on Yahoo Auctions every day. And again, without exaggeration, every day, a number of sets sell on Yahoo Auctions every day. Every day. There's so many. All through, they started back in Meiji Taisho making those sets for collectors and stuff. Then through the 30s, there was the tourist stuff. Then in the 60s and 70s, the massive publication of the Hiroshige 36 view, Hokusai's 36 views and the Hiroshige Tokaido set. And it got to a point where if you had come here in the 1970s or 80s when I came here, you visit somebody's house, they've got their living room, and in the bookcase is a Tokaido set. We're talking about people like, say, school teachers or a doctor or a businessman, stuff like this. They have a living room, they're trying to show their culture. So there are tens of thousands of these sets everywhere in Japan. Do I know where Koryusai is buried? I haven't looked into this yet. I don't know. I'm sorry. Whether it's known or whether it's something that survived all the air raids or something, I don't know. I guess we should do the thing, right? Go and visit and say hello and thanks for everything, you know. I suppose so. Anyway, I got to do a bit of work here. Well, John Becker's got one from Fuji Arts in Michigan. Yeah, they do stuff. They are on Yahoo Auctions here all the time. They have a buyer or somebody buying for them. In fact, I think I know who they are actually. So I see the same name coming up, and I know their limit. It's interesting. I know Bill Fagan, the guy who runs Fuji Arts, he's here. We chatted with him last year before the shutdown happened and stuff. And I've seen things come up on Yahoo Auctions where I thought, okay, I think I'll pass on that one or whatever. And then 3, 4, 5 weeks later, I see it in the Fuji Arts catalog. I get the email from them saying, here's our new stuff for sale. So they definitely are sourcing things from the auctions over on this side. But the person who's buying for them, who handles in Japanese, I've bid against that person many number of times, and I know their limit. I know what they're willing to pay for such and such, and they must know mine. So it's the difference when someone like me as a dealer who buys on these auctions and someone like you as a consumer, you have a real advantage for me. My limit is low on what I'm able to pay for these things. If I'm trying to, say, sell a finished print or a used print or something at a certain price, I want to sell it at a good price of value, what it's worth. That means I can't pay what it's worth, of course. I have to make profit here in the shop. We have to pay our rent, salary, eat, everything else. So on a place like Yahoo Auctions, I can never pay the full value for something, because if I do, I can't sell it. I mean, I can pay the full value for our own collection, but I can't pay it for something for sale. So I'm really handicapped there. And all the dealers, Fuji Arts too, when they're buying there, we have to keep our limit low, because if we go too high, then the product would be too high in the market. But somebody private like you guys, you can happily pay what it's worth because you're the consumer. So Yahoo Auctions for us is it's a source, but it's also not a gold mine. We can't simply dig in there every day and get all this wonderful stuff, because the market sends the things up to the retail price, and we can't pay retail. So, John, maybe you told me about this. I don't remember clearly, John, so I'm sorry about this. So, whatever. It's really close, is it? It's probably up on our balcony, the bird that just flew up there. You know, do a bit more work. We've got, what is it now? It's 9:06. We got 10 minutes before an interesting show and tell. So hang on for a bit. Let me do a bit more work, and then we'll drag out some prints to have a look at. So. Where to start? Where to start? Where to start? Just start in the middle and work our way out. that getting bizarrely noisy outside? Should I shut that mic off? It's starting to bother me. Let me turn the audio down outside. Turn down the audio from outside a bit. Testing audio, 1, 2, 3, okay. Right. Yeah, I'll just cut it down. It's not to 0, but clip it down a bit. There is something else too. So forgot. These things are, I'm remembering one by one by one by one. I know yesterday I got a bunch of images from Watanabe-san, our staff member who is doing the Photoshop work on the collection. And she got a new item uploaded. It's an item that I showed you some months ago, back in the show and tell. And this is not a beautiful thing. These pictures are yeah, whatever, you can sort it by yourself. Here. New item in the collection. You've seen this on the show and tell. It's one of those Junjozuri color additions where the colors add up, add up, add up, add up. And this one's a funny one because it's really, really in bad condition. The paper is warped, the paper is folded, creased, distorted, but whatever. Anyway, you can see the content, the way the colors come together. We didn't make any attempt to try and prettify it because that's a really bad condition album and I can't muck around with it too much. So anyway, the photographs are there. If you're interested in seeing how colors come together to make a beautiful ukiyo-e print, there's another example there online. These are good fun. And I think it was a few months back that I showed this, but she's got tons. Even yesterday, I know Yamada-kun put, I don't know, 30, 40 items into the collection, the data for them. And that will now go onto Watanabe-san's table. She'll shoot the photographs. So she's years and years and years behind, if that's the way you want to look at it. She's coming Friday. We'll be doing another couple of hundred photographs on Friday, this next coming Friday. So stuff's going in there, and I don't remember to tell everything that goes up, so you poke around. If you go to you can always tell what's new in there by going to the quick browse mode, and it's got pages, and just go to the last page on the quick browse mode, and that's always the newest stuff that has been uploaded. Of course, it gets higher, the highest catalog numbers. So. I'm really proud of that collection. It's really, really cool. You know, the things look just so beautiful. You know, it's not an approach that everybody likes. I think the prints to some people look a bit too real. But this is what I want. This is the way I want to do it. So. We need a sharpening here too, but I think at the time we've got now, what is it now? It's 9. Oh, it's 9:15. No time for sharpening. It's time for backing this up. Okay, Jim will start the next string with a sharpening. Okay, let's look at a box of prints. Soaring bird, roaring beast, the creatures of Cordyceps. I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. That is an interesting thought. It's kind of long. Birds and beasts of Cordyceps. Cordyceps. Okay. Now, the other day, I had prints that were really, really, really big, and I didn't even try and do it on my desk. I moved over to the other side over there. Today's object is also kind of large, but I'm going to give it a try on the desk here. I may succeed, I may fail. I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff out of the way. Okay, this one was also something from an auction. And it was one of those auctions where I looked at it and thought, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to take a chance on this? And we'll zoom out. Relax, 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 relax. Relax, relax, relax. We'll get this. Okay, let's try. Okay, as a warm-up, the real object is there. But do you remember when we did the Tokaido video last month, I showed one little item that everybody really liked. It was a set of prints, and it was not so much the prints, it was the way it was packaged that was interesting. It's 55 prints, and each print was there. It's done in accordion style. The whole thing is an accordion style, and the packaging concept, there's a print there, you turn the page, you see the next print, number 5, number 6, number 7, and by the time you get through to the end of the, by the time you get through to what seems to be the end of it, number 24, number 25, number 26, 27, you're still actually only halfway through this series. And at that point, you close it and you open it up again, and you are now looking from the back side. So this was the concept of this accordion book that works from the both ways. Okay, let's put this away. There it is what it is. You can now guess where we're going with this. Last week, on Yahoo Auctions, this object came. And actually, I say last week, it had been there. Where am I here? Let me see if I get the right one. It was in there first, priced quite high. I think it was 25,000 yen, which was, it's about $250. And the guy clearly said, zentai teki joutai wa warui. Overall, the condition is very poor. And it was true, the photographs showed there's water stains, there's this, there's that. The cover actually is all broken. This is old stuff. This is from late Meiji. My best guess on this is it's going to be around 1890, give or take 10 years or so. Well, take 10 years, 1890 to 1900 to 1910, somewhere around there. And it's in bad condition. So people passed and passed and passed, and I passed too because it was sort of like whatever. And then, because it was in my alerts, the guy decided, okay, let's just drop the price and blow this out. And he dropped it to 10,000 yen with a buy now button. That's it. 5 seconds later, it's mine. And this is our now. I didn't realize it. This is our oldest Tokaido set, and it is another real goodie. It's another real goodie. It's in accordion style. I can do this without ripping. You can see what's happening here. The thing is done as an accordion album. And the woodblock prints each are pasted onto a folded sheet that runs through the thing to make it all work like an accordion style. So they're pasted down, which is not so good, not what I'd really be happy with. And also, the thing at some point has either been left in a window and it got rained on or something. This whole corner of the album got wet. And you can see that in that some of the things here, there is old mold. This is not active now. This is all totally dried and totally okay. But at some point, some of this thing got wet, and some of the borders are a little bit old and moldy. This is not foxing. The prints are fine. There's no publisher, there's no name of the producer, there's no nothing. What we've got here, this is funny, this is actually a woodblock print. You can tell from the corner here, it's woodblock printed paper underneath, and there is some delicate little fabric wrapping the top of this. I don't know if I did get down to see this. Whatever, it doesn't matter, it's not the print. But the front cover too is a woodblock print. Anyway, let's get in and look at some of the prints. This thing is fragile with a capital F. It's got what most of the Tokaido prints have, a reproduction of what happened in the old days. When Hiroshige's series was first done, it was this was the title page, Tokaido Goju Sanski, where are we? Tokaido Goju San. This is the old character, old ski. No idea what this is. And this is Hoedo, the original publisher's name. This is the original preface, which is just gobbledygook, gobbledygook. And then we have the list of stations and the prints. And what's the carving and printing like? The printing is, in a word, wonderful. The printing is wonderful. The carving is kind of less so. We have beautiful, clean gradations. I'm going to be struggling to get this camera all over the place here, you know. Because this thing's going to, if I twist this thing around too much, it's going to come apart. So I cannot twist and let's try and turn this part way around, if I can do this. It's no good putting it. Let's do this upside down so it makes more sense to you guys. Let's try and find a place to zoom in. Here we are, because this will allow us to compare with that other print we had. The printing is gorgeous, the carving is less so. And you can tell by looking, here's our key spot we look at with all of these prints. Remember the three ladies? The three ladies in their in that miniature version we had, right? We had the three ladies selling their onigiri, and they had beautiful facial expressions. Here, there's nothing. These look like walking zombies, the Day of the Dead. The guys, the carvers here, have not done the job to the level they could have done. They've sort of hacked it out. The printing is rich and smooth, deeply textured, very nice. The paper quality is very, very high, but the carving leaves something to be desired here. So when I first got it in hand and opened it up, cracked it open, I was thinking, wow, this is going to be so wonderful. I have mixed feelings about it. It's beautifully produced, but I want to see more tasteful carving than what we are seeing here. They're zombies. They look just like zombies. And actually, it's clear, more than one carver is at work here. If I jump ahead here, let me try and find a place that I was looking at last night. Let me jump ahead. Where are we? Here we are. We can jump ahead to this pair. And we've got an example in one pair, two prints side by side, of clearly two carvers at work. This one, in fact, there's that lady right in the middle. She is carved with kind of nice and delicate. She's got nice little hair around the side. We see her facial expression. This matches what we see on many Hiroshige prints. The picture just before it, if I try and slide it across here, doesn't work, not even close. Fat nose, fat lips, fat lines, clearly carved by a different person. It's nowhere near as clean. It's competent in some ways. I mean, look at this, you can carve, he's got this candle carved, but it's clearly a different person. But the printing quality, the gradations, the tone, it's high quality paper. Printing quality is really, really great. It is too big for this bench, but whatever. So we get to. So let's have a look. The gradations, you know, I showed this to some of the girls upstairs yesterday, Shikao-san and the girls, and they always say the same thing when they see these. How on earth did those guys get the gradations done so cleanly and so beautifully? So although I can't put an actual date on it, this is clearly, absolutely, this is our oldest set of Tokaido prints, absolutely. And it would be around the era when those things were first started to be made for consumer sets. You know, people collect them as an album. The album here would have been made by the publisher. This isn't an album that was made by somebody who bought a few of them and stuck them together at home. It's a commercially produced album. Yeah, it's the most impressive thing about this set is the depth of the colors and the quality of the gradations. When we see the post-war sets, almost always it's the gradations that are the ones that are the weakest point. And look at this. I mean, this is not easy to do. This is freestyle. I mean, there's a wood block carved in the shape of that mountain, but the gradation on this, if you're still here, Karen, look at this. Look at this gradation. You want to try this? How many pieces would you do it in? Maybe one section there, then do another one here, then another one there? No idea. There's no way, I could not do this myself. I could not do this. I would not want to take it on, nor would I want to assign this to one of my workers here. They would just look at me like, you've got to be kidding. And they're everywhere. Another gradation here, orange one up, green one down, gray one down. There's dozens and dozens of gradations on this thing. Classic white paper. This wouldn't be one person. This is a crew of people. I mean, it'd be one person working on one print, but the production of the album would, of course, be a crew. Absolutely, it would be a crew. It could even be dozens of people working on this. The gradation at the end here is a gradation, but this kind of variance in tone, this is carved. This is not a gradation. We've got a carved block overlaying another block. So what looks like a gradation here is not. This is carved. Nice green. I'm not in love with what they used for a skin tone on these. It's a bit, I don't know, dirty. But it could be, that could be aging, so I don't know. Depth, look at this. Look at the depth of these things, you know. There's a light gray base tone first, and a green up, and a gray down. Look at the depth to this thing. It makes it look like there's mist in the valley, but there's nothing printed there. The way you create mist is by leaving that out. You make darker stuff around it, leaving a bit of the white paper tone to show through, and it looks like mist. It looks like somebody's sprayed on with white or something. We can never print light in this technique, the traditional Japanese prints. We can never print light. We can only print dark. So everything you want that has to appear lighter or brighter is stuff that you leave out when applying the other colors. Do all stations prints have people in them? Whatever, it's Hirosuge's concept. I know, I'm not sure what I can add. It's a balance. We talked about this in a video that I made a month or so ago. I think he struck a really good balance between the landscape part of this and the activities part of it, what is going on. So it acts as both. It's a view of the landscapes of the series, but it's also a view close up of many of the activities that are going on. So I don't think it was preset, whether a publisher said to him, okay, here's what I want, here's my vision, go down and find it and catch it and bring it back. We don't know if this was directed from the publisher or whether it was directed by Hiroshige. He got a chance to go down there, made some sketches, came back and made a pitch to a publisher. Hey, I got an idea for you. We have no idea which way this came. No idea at all. And as somebody's pointing out, this was a busy, busy place. This was the country's main superhighway as it was. It was a busy place, day and night, all year long, good weather, bad weather. People were going back and forth on this thing, thousands of people. This was a freeway, a freeway. And I guess, too, part of the people who would have bought the prints that they made, part of it for them is, what's the word? They want to know what this place looks like because they themselves will never go there. So part of it was showing what the road was like for people that would never get a chance to see it themselves. This is a famous spring. It's still there, apparently, in the city of Otsu. There's a spring where water comes up, and it was famous in its own day, and it's still there. And the final one at Kyoto, and we talked about this before in one of the previous streams. This is the giveaway picture that shows that Hiroshige probably never actually got to Kyoto. He published his famous set of prints about this, but it's almost certain now that he only went partway down and then came home and didn't get all the way. And the reason they can tell that is he published this set in 1832 or 33, 34, I forget the exact number, 1830s. And about 10 years before that, the Sanjo Ohashi in Kyoto had been rebuilt with stone pillars. It had been washed away in a flood and rebuilt with stone pillars. So Hiroshige is showing the print, the bridge, as it was 10 years before he got there. So the people, the researchers, are generally thinking that's a pretty big clue to give us the idea that he never actually went there. And if he did, he would have made his decision. I don't want to show the modern stone bridge, I want to show the old bridge. Which is more likely? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There's lots of discussion on those things. I'm not a primary researcher. I can't read the old diaries. It's none of my business. And I don't really care. Did he go to Kyoto or not? They're beautiful prints. That's all that matters. Okay, this will be on tap. At some point we will be shooting all these, and I still haven't decided how to do the interface for the collection, where when we have more than one copy of a print, how to be able to compare them side by side. I haven't figured out yet. There's lots of ways to do that, JavaScripts and this and that, and I have not figured out how to do that yet. We'll get there when we get there. Okay, it's Saturday morning. I'm out of here. Not quite sure what I'll be doing today. Sometime before Monday, I have to finish programming. We've changing our subscription system, the way we charge postage, because of the massive increase in postage for the US coming in next year. I'm having to rebuild our subscription software to handle that. And that's got to be done by Monday, because Cameron's ready to start adding new customers, new subscribers come Monday. I've got to be ready for it. There's the water damage. That one corner did get water damaged at some point. So a few of these prints, and there's no way, we can't wash this out. That's permanent, so can't be helped. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll be back in 2 more days with more carving on that same block. That's what it's going to be now for the next few weeks. We'll have more carving on the same block. See you in a couple of days. Thanks very much, guys. See you then. Bye-bye for now.